Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from my show on Political Voices Network. Just said fun fact. Since 1995, there have been 5 major government shutdowns. The GOP controlled the House for all 5 of them. Stop giving these idiots power. But again, we look like we're 5 days from going over the cliff again. And the mainstream media continues to have this both sides narrative. Like, oh, Congress can't agree, right? So that's what
they're going to fail because they're going to do that, as you just said. So knowing that they're going to fail again and again, Kathleen Parker just wrote a piece about apparently wearing a hoodie in the Washington Post. Wearing a hoodie is worse than being trying to overthrow democracy like Donald Trump and committing rape and stealing classified documents. And so when you know they're going to react that way, we need to do a better job. This is why I highlight the Swalwells and the Fettermans. Not only do we need to hit them back, but we need to do it in coordinated ways that send a message to the public that they're weak, that they're hypocrites, that they're cruel, that they're incompetent, and all the things that they really are. And we're getting much better at it, but we still, we didn't build the big edifice they did of Fox News and Newsmax and all that garbage. We have your show. We have a bunch of great shows out there, but we haven't put all the money into it. You had to do it, I'm sure, mostly on your own. I don't think you had like big donors handing you $1 billion checks. I haven't either. But we have to make sure we're, now, talking about this. And
I directly asked George
really
Soros for money when he was on this show once.
Yes, you did.
Said no right to my face. I said, since I get credited with getting money from you, could you at least give me some? No, you're right. We say this all the time, right, Chris? The Patreon is, during COVID is what, and it keeps this whole progressive, cinematic universe going. You're right. By the way,
I don't know why our donors don't get it. I'll just say quickly. I don't know why, but they don't seem to see that they control the narrative on the other side, even though 70% of people are with us on most issues. So we have to constantly hit back. We have to constantly point out who they are, and we have to constantly be on offense. And we're getting better at it, but it's a work in progress.
Well, we were laughing that, speaking of hypocrisy, that Trump, who is under currently, 91 felony indictments, a adjudicated rapist. So he tweeted of Menendez, every Democrat should resign from the Senate. Our borders are broken, our elections are rigged. MAGA. That was... But every Democrat should resign because of Menendez when his entire... doesn't that tell you everything you need to know about the two parties? Most Democrats have called on Menendez to step down, right? The entire Republican Party now acts as Donald Trump's defense team, right? Rather than...
No, and all they do is, a few of them have even used the Menendez thing, to their credit, to still go after the FBI. They attack our institutions, they attack our law enforcement, they share conspiracies so that the FBI and all those guys are the bad guys and the loons on January 6th wearing Camp Auschwitz shirts are the good guys, and they're telling, Menendez, right away. I looked at those indictments, I'm like, resign. You have done horrible things. Unlike the Republicans, national security and democracy to us aren't just sort of play words that we throw out there. We actually believe them. Yeah. So he should resign. But you know who can't tell him to resign? Every Republican who hasn't told Donald Trump in the past to resign, George Santos, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Ken Paxton, and this collection of criminals that they call the Republican Party.
Yeah, Lauren Boebert, if you want to talk about decorum. Like, I don't know where public handsies fall next to hoodies, but okay.
Well, Beetlejuice is a it can make you horny. Beetlejuice is a very sexy production.
But one last tweet. Travis tweets, President Joe Biden's weaponized Department of Justice has now indicted Democratic Senator Bob Menendez and checks notes, Joe Biden's son. But you're right. They don't let that get in the way of their storyline, right? That Joe Biden has a weaponized DOJ.
Right. None of it has to make any sense. I think in a lot of ways, they throw out different narratives, all of which are negative about us, often which contradict each other. Right. At one point, we're too weak to do anything. At another point, we're this all, powerful conspiracy of the FBI, the CIA. I'm sure a couple Jews that meet in Switzerland once a year and to plan the economy. So they can't make up their minds, but they're always saying negative stuff about us and mixing people up. And that's all they want to do.
Right.
As long as you can't get to the truth.
And by the way, as we've been pointing out all morning, Cliff, Clarence Thomas has done exactly the same thing Menendez is being accused of. And, as you tweeted, you said the Federalist Society pimped out Clarence Thomas as a fundraising draw at vacation retreats for billionaires hosted by the Koch network to solicit large donors with cases in front of the Supreme Court. If this sounds really bad, it's because it is. Impeach Clarence Thomas. You retweeted that one, and you said this just gets worse every day, right? Clarence Thomas, corrupt AF, is a legal prostitute to raise money for the Kochs. I'm sure others too, like Crow. He must be impeached. It's the right thing to do and an easy way to rally the base, ahem, Democrats. Mm-hmm. I mean, again, you can't scream about two systems of justice. And then,
no,
yeah.
I mean, I hate also when everything lines up and we still don't do it. I mean, to me, you should do the right thing policy-wise, right? We have to protect our democracy, but also we want to push good policies. This guy can't be on the Supreme Court. He is the most corrupt guy easily. There's nobody who's been more corrupt, we can say that. And now we know that he's helping the Kochs raise money for the exact people he knows are going to be in front of the court. That's even a level beyond what we knew about him before. Why Dick Durbin and these other Democrats can't get together and call for his impeachment? You would rally the base. You would educate independents, hold hearings for F's sake. I don't understand why, again, there would be a way we could control the narrative, and the mainstream media, it'd be catnip. They wouldn't be able to resist. I mean, it's the most obvious thing to do in the world, and we're not doing it.
Yeah. We were talking off air a little about, just the two parties in Ukraine and Putin and how, John Fugelsang made this point, Cliff, on Friday about, they're calling us warmongers now. And he made a great point. Right. He said, no, we've always been consistent. We were against George W. Bush invading a country that did not attack him. And we're against Putin invading a country that didn't attack him. It's very consistent. It's not being pro-war to say we need to stand up for democracy and Ukraine and this terrorist attack by Putin.
Right, and we also believe in protecting those who are being attacked, who are victims of genocide. So what did we do? We went into Bosnia to try to protect Bosnian Muslims who are being massacred by the Serbs, right? And I think I've said to you earlier, I've been really making a big point of something because Putin is doing this stuff around the world. This is a chess game to him. And right now, the other day, I've talked a lot about what's going on in that region. There's a corrupt leader who, by the way, was going to build a Trump Tower in their capital, Baku, in Azerbaijan. His name's Aliyev. He's a kleptocrat, murderer. He's friends with Erdogan. He's friends with Netanyahu. He's friends with Putin. Gee, I wonder if he's a nice guy. And they just invaded a sovereign territory, and they're committing an ethnic cleansing. And it's not anywhere out there. So I'm just going to encourage people. The first prosecutor of the International Criminal Court, his name is Luis Moreno Ocampo, has an op-ed in the Washington Post. Please go read it, because right now there's a potential second Armenian genocide going on, and Putin, Erdogan, the usual suspects are behind this. Yeah. They're attacking Ukraine. They're attacking Armenia. They're cyber attacks in the United States and parts of Western Europe to upend our elections. They send the Wagner group, who now they're fighting with, but in the past, into places like Niger to try to egg on revolutions. They're playing a global game here of autocracy, and Trump is their guy in the United States. Yeah, no, I said it from the beginning. It's a terrorist attack on a sovereign nation. On Ukraine. Yes. It's not a war. It's a, Right. We're trying to protect people who have been attacked. They've tried to turn that around into, you want war? We haven't sent troops in. We're trying to protect people who, innocent human beings from being ethnically cleansed. To them, it's all power politics. So, some people get ethnically cleansed. You say tomato, I say tomato. The right doesn't care. Oh, hi. I'm here with sexy liberal John Fugelsang, wearing my Los Angeles sexy liberal shirt. Oh my God, we have an LA show coming up October 21st, but how else could you see it, John?
How else could you see it? I'm so glad you asked. For a limited time, you can see the show live via pay-per-view if you go to sexyliberal.com. All the laughs, you'll miss nothing.
I can stream it from all around the world?
All around the world, in your car, while you're driving. Watch it at home.
Sexyliberal.com, yeah.